Look, there's news and there's crazy news that makes you just go, wow. Big news for us here at Fox Sports Radio today, big news across the country, is our colleague Doug Gottlieb is going to be the new head coach at University of Wisconsin Green Bay.
Let's go.
He interviewed last year, and it went to somebody else, and after an 18-14 year, he left to go be the head coach at Wyoming, and Doug Gottlieb is now the head coach at Wisconsin Green Bay. Look, Doug and I talk about stuff, and we've done tons of shows together over the past few years, and I know coaching is something that absolutely lights him up. He was coaching the Maccabi games a couple of times. Mm-hmm. He was the head coach. He coached under Bruce Pearl. So he's going to be the new head coach of Wisconsin Green Bay. But here's the best part. He is keeping his show here at Fox Sports Radio. This is fascinating, and it's brilliant, and it's a social experiment I can't wait to see. I mean, we've never seen something. This is the newest of new school, where here's a head coach of a team who now not only is going to have because coaches have radio shows, but usually it's one day a week. They show up for 2 hours, they answer questions from fans at a bar or some kind of thing, and they leave. That's the coach's show. This is going to be a national radio show every day where Doug's going to continue to come out and give you his takes on stuff, and it's not going to be all Wisconsin Green Bay action, obviously, and he's going to be the head coach and do this, and this is just absolutely fascinating from so many perspectives because it's polarizing, because there's people that hate this right away. It's wondering, how long can something like this last? Can it last? Can he still go with hot takes? Can he still give big time hot takes when you're representing Wisconsin Green Bay as well? This is just going to be so fascinating to watch and see it unfold. I mean, when I said this today and I said, oh my God. And then of course my second thought was, if Doug can go from radio, and I've done tons of shows with Doug, if Doug can go from radio and he can coach Wisconsin Green Bay, I can go from radio and manage the bleeping Mets.
No.
I think that can happen, man. I mean, football is too tough. There's too much to go into it. I mean, there's a lot of planning, and you got to get up really early in the morning. No, I can go manage them. If Doug can do this, I can manage the Mets, man. I'm thinking this can happen.
So what you're saying is, I mean, with baseball and the analytics departments and the reports that they give you, that you don't have to work very hard. Because, I mean, look, we chastised your man yesterday for not challenging what should have been a called third strike.
Mm-hmm. I would have challenged.
That was pathetic. He made no effort. He just screamed, "Oh, come on, Blue!" and then stood there and then watched the game unravel for your guy Diaz. Terrible.
Tell me, man.
Blue.
I think the door's open, man. First it was, hey, when a guy like Tony Kornheiser got Monday Night Football, I thought, oh, hey, the door's open for people like us to do that, right?
Well, hell, Dennis Miller, come on, let's go.
Yeah. But now I'm like, oh, wait a minute, man. Well, Dennis Miller was outside of sports. That was like, hey, we're going to leapfrog you guys to go to a comedian. This is like, hey, someone
and he was great and
has a daily show.
Screwed that up.
Now I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Doug can go. He can go. And yeah, okay. Doug's coached Maccabi games, coach youth. I've coached youth. I've coached softball. I have the same kind of resume. I think I should call. Steve Cohen's courtside of the Knicks game right now. I say, hey, listen, when it doesn't work out with Mendoza, call me and I'll do it. I'll still do my show at night. We may need to start an hour later because the Mets games will end a little bit right before the show. So I have to stay with the Mets all the way through. But
most of them end
I
in the
can
first
jump
inning.
on and do the show.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it from the dugout. I mean, if they allow him to do interviews, I mean, you can do segments.
Oh, no, I would definitely do the show
there
from the dugout.
and staring out at the field. There's no question about that.
I would have to do it from the dugout.
I mean, we could be like a lot of shows and just tape a bunch of stuff and then hope nothing big happens.
No, but I think if they set me up and hey, here's this is Skip's studio to do the show after. He's going to talk about us a little bit, talk about other stuff. Like Lindor and Alonso at the wall listening. Is he talking about us? Is he talking about us? Like I could do that. Like I could manage the Mets if this is the Doug Gottlieb is blazing the trail for me to manage the Mets.
A 4-year-old can manage the Mets.
Yeah, well, hey, come on now, man. Come on. 8 or 9. Come on. 4 years old, they're still learning what colors they like.
Yeah, this is kind of the toy that says 10 plus on the box, right?
8 or 9.
Because you got to be able to handle the salty language. Yeah. And I know at 4 and 5 you hear a lot of it now. I mean, if you're traversing cable television and or just walking through a grocery store, I mean, you're going to hear all that. But, Earmuffs,
pal.
Yeah, exactly.
Earmuffs.
I mean, you have a lot of that. But, if we say 10 plus, well, now it becomes really the parental guidance kind of thing. Congratulations to Doug. I heard him chatting it up with our guys, Petros and Money, on AM 570 LA Sports earlier on his way to the airport. And he was kind of laying out his next 4 days. Mm-hmm. And they're like, have you planned to sleep or eat in any of that? With the number of people he's going to meet with the flights and the layovers and the drive and whatever. I mean, because Green Bay is not easy to get to.
No, it's not. It's not, and it's going to be a little bit of ways. Like it's like if you live someplace that's like a 15-minute drive to get to the freeway. It's like it takes me 15 minutes to get to the freeway. I'm not going to get there.
And then you got to get out of your car and ride a bicycle.
Yeah, but look, let's do because there's good and there's questions about this, right? And I wouldn't be fair. Look, and Doug would say, well, what do you think? What do you think? Why would Wisconsin Green Bay say yes to this, right? Polarizing. Why would they say yes? The Horizon Conference has their coach prime, right? Like nobody is coming in with a bigger presence than Doug, who has been on TV for 20 years and on the radio for 20 years. He's been analyzing basketball for 20 years. He is the coach prime of the Horizon League. Can he do a radio show? Yeah. In Wisconsin, his show will be 10 to 12, right? What are they doing from 10 to 12, right? Kids are in class. They're not practicing. They're not leaving for a game yet. Now, will there be a lot of days where people will fill in?
Well, it would be 2 to 4 there.
Well, no, he's 12 to 2
they're
here.
2 ahead of us.
Well, he's 12 to
noon
that's right.
Noon
That's
is
right.
2 o'clock there.
So he's 2 to 4 there, where practice isn't quite happening yet. So he's still able to be able to do that in the middle of the day before they wind up having practice. Right? Kids are in class. They're going through things now. Will there be a lot of times where they'll be filling in for Doug Gottlieb? Yeah, that'll happen when he's traveling or something's going on. There will be that. But could he do it? Yeah, it's a new school thing, right? And Deion Sanders coming in and doing what he's doing in Colorado makes a lot of schools think, hey, it doesn't need to be one certain way. Maybe there's a bunch of different ways that we can get a successful head coach. And Deion's way, Colorado's going to see, right? It's going to be a short shelf life, so it doesn't work right away. There's going to be changes. But him coming in saying, hey, I don't need to have this great system. I can be the big CEO and I can do the recruiting and I can be that guy and I got other people running systems for me and everything else. Yeah, you know what? Okay, maybe this can work. Why not? Let's give it a try, right? So we've seen that this can work. But now, if I'm saying where this thing would sit, I would say, without knowing anything, right? Without knowing anything, I would say this is probably let's see how this year goes and then see where we're at, right? Because for Wisconsin Green Bay, if they have a bad year or if they don't win enough games or who knows, whatever it is, or if it could be just, hey, this might be a little bit too taxing and we're not getting great optics from it. It's a little bit of a distraction. Just knowing how things go in sports, that this will be reevaluated in the year. Again, I don't know anything, but I got to think some kind of thing is, hey, this will go for a year, and then we'll see where we're at. We'll see, and he's got to see where he's at after a year.
100%.
Because he still want to keep doing a show after a year. I want to keep doing more coaching. I want to do all of this. So there's going to be, I would say this has got to be a year thing, and then they'll reevaluate.
No, but that's the thing, right? And Doug knows what he's walking into. He's not a shrinking violet that, he's going to, he knows the poison pens are out there. I mean, we know that, right? He's a guy that has been very strong in his opinions and rankled, and ruffled some feathers at times. So, certainly I saw enough folks immediately in the socials and in little write-ups trying to take their digs. It's ambitious. And obviously, we throw our support and wish him the best, that this can work for you to go become the Mets manager or whatever else it flows into. But, to try to figure out that balance for Green Bay, it's great exposure. Because, now you can put that in the intros of the Doug Gottlieb show. Hey, he's been doing this for 2 decades, and he's the head coach of the Wisconsin Green Bay. Let's go. It's Doug Gottlieb.